Over the last 30 years, 17 missing children cases have been tied to a recurring piece of evidence, a television frequency known as Channel 13. Local authorities officially shut the network down in 1987, yet this timeline of signal activity shows a continuous pattern of rogue spikes reaching into the present day. Televisions in the dead of night are still intercepting this signal. To understand how a dead broadcast is still claiming victims, investigators have turned to the case files of 12-year-old Ethan Miller. Ethan's recovered VHS tapes and home security logs provide a minute-by-minute account of a Channel 13 encounter, from the initial signal to the final frame. By analyzing the progression of Ethan's tapes, we can map out the specific sequence of events that occurs when the broadcast enters a home. Phase 1 begins under the guise of standard media. The broadcast appears as low-budget educational programming featuring a mascot known as the Smiling Man. The shift occurs when the mascot drops its script, stops moving, and addresses the viewer directly. This schematic shows a standard one-way broadcast model. In Ethan's case, the television reversed this flow, becoming a two-way surveillance device that projected a beam back into the living room. On the tape, the mascot speaks Ethan's name. This proves the broadcast isn't a pre-recorded loop, but a live interaction reacting to the occupant. This initial interaction bridges the gap between the screen and the viewer. Once the viewer acknowledges the entity, they are locked into the sequence. These rogue signals are occasionally intercepted by regional emergency alert systems. The resulting broadcasts mandate 3 strict rules: do not respond, do not state your name, and never look into its eyes. These instructions don't offer a way to block the signal or stop the mascot. They focus entirely on minimizing the viewer's engagement. Because authorities cannot physically sever the connection, the viewer is left to manage the encounter in total isolation. Phase 3 is characterized by the reality bleed, where the entity begins to occupy the physical space around the home. In Ethan's room, drawings of the mascot appeared spontaneously on the walls. When Ethan looked away and back again, the figures in the drawings had changed positions. We can see this same behavior on the security camera footage from Ethan's front yard at 2:13 a.m. This spatial map plots the entity's approach. It displays anomalous kinematics. The figure doesn't walk. It teleports closer with every corrupted frame. These segmented zones show how the entity bypassed the fence and lawn instantly, appearing several feet closer each time the tape glitched. The final frame of the security log shows the figure standing directly outside Ethan's window, despite the doors remaining locked. Locked doors and physical security are ineffective against an entity that moves according to the logic of an edited tape. The final VHS tape recovered from the Miller household contains the last recorded words of the Smiling Man. Before Ethan disappeared, the mascot delivered a single line: "You're watching me. Now I can watch you." This feedback loop illustrates a pattern seen in all 17 cases. The entity's movement and its physical presence in Ethan's room only occurred when it was being watched. In this cycle, the viewer's observation acts as a physical anchor, allowing the broadcast to manifest. This is why the emergency reporter instructs viewers to immediately destroy any tape containing the broadcast. The goal is to physically sever the loop of observation. This reveals a troubling aspect of the Channel 13 mystery. To study the mascot, or even look at its image, is to fulfill the observation requirement it needs to function. By watching this analysis of the Miller case, you have engaged the broadcast. Phase 1 has already begun.